Yellow. Is the camera live? How's it look? Oh, it's live. I got a different camera set up this time. And it's been shutting off in my testing from time to time. So if you see some color bars, that's probably why. What's up, y'all? Today,
we have to get on, we have so much time and so little to do. Strike that, reverse it.
We're gonna look at some more directus-init stuff. So I'm working on directus stuff again, but we're back on the Mega API. This project hasn't been touched since April 2022. So it's actually quite old. If you remember, this is the old directus interface here. I added a few different data models in here, like Colorado hikes. Did I put myself in streaming mode yet? I didn't. Like Colorado hikes, fortunes. I was gonna use this to try to build out like a bigger data API, but then I didn't really get any further on it. Now I'm working on the video tutorial site, which will probably move a lot quicker, but I wanna bring this up to date with the other directus. Yo, Melky. Hey y'all, look at that Twitch staff badge. Oops, I'll turn my light on here. At Melky. Check out Melky. Doing weekend streams consistently. Hey buddy, how's it going? Oh shit, I didn't realize I had that. I'm gonna have to refund you for that. That's not a real thing. Sorry, buddy. How do I remove manage rewards? Okay, I clicked manage rewards and nothing happened. Yo, your app's busted. Alright. I guess it's not gonna work for now. Forget it. Forget it. Melky, how's it going? What you doing? So we've got these few different data things in here, but I'm running on a really old version, 9.5.1, and they are all the way on 10.5.3 now. I have a lot of things that have been updated. I wrote down I went through all the release docs, and I wrote down a nice little set of upgrade notes in here that we're gonna go through. With the major things, the breaking changes and the new features and such. Melky, I saw you earlier on stream today, and now here I am, looking at you from the other end. What a day. So we're gonna go through all of those changes and figure them out. Before we do any of that, I wanna create some backups, obviously. But in order to do that, there we go. Music was a little loud for me. In order to do that, I want to pull down this repo. I want to benefit from these new repo changes. This is only on 10.3, but we'll actually pull it down and we'll bump it up to 10.5. Get the latest on there so anyone else who wants to do that can see how you do that as well. I will bump this up to 10.5 though. I have some documentations in here that are kind of will be outdated, so I have to decide what I want to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, I'm gonna download a zip. Download a zip. Oh, they changed this and I really don't like it. There it is. Okay, so if I unzip it, unzip it. And I really just want to copy all of the files from here and put them into my web dev mega API. You'll see I have some files in here, but I'm going to delete most of them. Probably wipe out this as well. Because of directus being so like bare bones, there's really not a lot in here that I need to keep. Zoe's good. She's sitting over here on the chair. The other day she came in here, and when I was on the computer at night, she just ran and jumped up on my chest and like sat there. Cause she, wants cuddles. She's a cat. She likes people. She's not an animal person, so she likes to cuddle with people. And if she doesn't get that attention, she will make sure to get it. Okay, so I have an old backup in there. So I pasted all those files over. I'm gonna make sure I copied the I'm gonna need the env sample and the get ignore. Let me copy these. Make sure they're up to date. Get ignore, paste it, boom. And the env sample. I'm gonna go on privacy screen real quick to update my env. New file .env.sample. I'll paste it in there. I don't actually need to create that file. And then I'm going to copy over the things that I need to update. So one of them will be the Postgres. I already have that in there. So I'll pull that out. Because I'm going to use the exact same database that we already have up, and then I'm going to be upgrading that. So Manny Moki, what's up? Rate limiter, cache enabled. I do have S3 working on here. And I'm going to move the folder. I currently have it. Hello, Mr. Ched_dev. Ooh, so proper. I currently have my S3 going to a folder called directus uploads, but I'm going to rename that to be mega API uploads, because I'm going to be hosting multiple folders in there, so you know. Did I do it from the right one? Yes, I did. Oh, I see what I did. Manny, how's it going? And everything else, I think, is already set there. I don't need bootstrap stuff because we already have an account. Oh, I do have a SendGrid key. Let me get that. What kind of games you playing? Mind games? I should get my head centered in there. I wonder if this will work, the emails. Okay. League of Legends. You are a legend. Let me figure out how to get... Is this better? It's a little better. Privacy screen's back. Okay, so I've updated all the code in here. I think I need to redo install. Well, I need to follow the instructions, basically. Not all of them, just some of them. I copied the stuff over. I need to npm run build. Yes, I forgot. I need to also, because this newer version uses Node version 18, you get those warnings. I needed to add those first. Let me make sure I delete the files because I had this issue last time where I started uploading them. Okay, npm run build. Looking for funding. And then when this is done, we don't need to do the bootstraps or uploads or start or anything else. We need to run the backup. Okay, it's done. npm run backup db, is that right? Backing up. Backing up. Circular constraints. Well, that doesn't sound good. Come on now. Do you think it ever finishes? Well, it's a lot of node modules.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Camera went out. I don't know how to keep it on. It's plugged in. Do you think it's ever going to finish? Or did it finish? Nope, there it goes. There it is. Okay, that's a full backup. I don't really need this one. This is the old one. I don't need this because that is now handled in tasks. This should be back to Mega API. Directus 10.3. Let's upgrade this to 5.0. And then let's node install again. npm run build. That does install and all the stuff. Install and then builds the extension as well. If you want to use directus-init, here is a link in the chat. I'll add it to the YouTube video as well later on. And let's look at our upgrade notes. So we were on 9.5.1. So I basically went through everything from then up to 10.5 and I pulled out all these breaking changes and new features. So we're going to go through and make sure that we don't have any, we're not missing any. Okay, so that's done. I downloaded the Postgres, so I need to move over my copy over my uploads here. So previously they were in directus uploads. I actually just want to rename the folder. I don't need to move them, right? How do I do that? Move. Move it to mega-API uploads. Is that right? Must end with a slash. You got it, dude. Wow, it's almost 1 gig of data in there? That can't be right. Did it move everything? None failed to move. Stupid. It's in a nested folder, but whatever. Let's just do, I'll fix that in my, well, let's just select all of these then and move. Actions, move. Yes, all the objects, yes. All the objects, oh my, oh my. Okay, this time it was 455, that's interesting. So this, I want to go up a level, I want to go to Mega API, boom. And then where is the directus uploads? It should be at the bottom, right? I think I can safely delete this. Type permanently delete. I had a feeling that might happen. Well, now they're there. Whew, thanks goodness. Right? Yes, there's 300 objects in there. There's just nothing that has directus. Okay, so it should be in there, right? Spot. 300 files? Was that how much? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So I've backed up Postgres. I've moved the files I also want to create a backup with the new snapshot command. So I can say npm run snapshot. That will create a snapshot of error. Well, I guess I don't need to do the snapshot yet. I did the other backup for. So now we want to follow, if I ran this npm run upgrade, and it says, hey, oops, C notes and upgrade notes. Well, I need to fix that. And follow these docs. npm update, I already did that. I've got, let's say npx directus version. Should be 10.5. Okay, that's probably the CLI version. Anyway, this is 10.5.0, just to verify. Let's go in here, let's go, is it at directus or just directus? .5.3. Okay. So now we want to migrate the latest. And this is going from 9.5.1 up to 10.5.3. I think that's it. We migrated it and now we just need to deploy it. And it should be updated. We shouldn't need to fix any data, but let's see if the snapshot works again. It should now. There we go. Okay, so now we have a snapshot of the schema. It's weird, it says directus 12.1.3. I don't think that should happen, but this is just a YAML file with all of our configuration, baby. It doesn't include all the content. The content's already in the database in this case. But let's do oh no, wait. So one thing I need to do before we push up to Railway is lock my screen. And then I have to go copy my env file and put that into Railway. So before we do that real quick, let me show you kind of how it's been running. So Mega API is what we're running on right now. We're running it on Railway. It says it's estimated is about 95 cents, and I think that's for the month, right? It's got low CPU usage. We're not really doing anything with it, but it's got up and down memory usage. So the cost is pretty low, but tutorial site, this is the one we just set up the other day, which is using 10.3. This is constantly running at about almost 300 megs. So this one says it's going to cost $3. So there's something they did along the way that made it run with more memory and all that. I mean, they've added a lot of new features. The features that we'll go over, there's a lot of stuff in there. So I wouldn't doubt if they're just running something continuously all the time. But I'm going to go to my dashboard, my Mega API, and then I'm going to go to my app here, and I'm going to say variables, raw editor. And I'm going to paste everything in there. See if there's anything I want to pull out from here. Again, you don't want to reload my extensions up there. There's a lot of commented out things that I don't really need. I've got my bucket, my new bucket, Mega API uploads. Cache enabled's false. There is no cores enabled right now by default in this new one. So I'm going to take out the host and the port, and I'm going to update the public URL to mega-api.ched.dev and make sure it's HTTPS. That's the deployed URL. Okay, update variables, cancel redeploy. I think all the database stuff is the same now. I figured out how to, yeah. Okay. Let me make sure that I've closed out this old file. This old file. Okay. Migrate to 10.5.3 with directus-init. And I'm going to do railway up. I already connected this to that repo, or it might have already been connected a while ago anyway. Hopefully this should work. Do you hear Zal? Some brrr. Turn down my lighting a little bit. Too much. Oh, cam went out. What was that, like a half an hour? Cam went out right when I did that. Wow, Node.js 20. I haven't seen it go that far. Jeez, warnings. Warnings. Sounds like we're getting close. A year ago via CLI. Oh yeah. Oh no, this was created June. Maybe it wasn't April. Maybe I just created the repo back in April. June of last year. Anyway, it's more than a year. We're all the way into August now. Okay. Mega API, ched dev. Here's our fresh admin, 10.5.3. Holy shnikes, it worked. Okay, so we actually didn't go through a lot of the migrating stuff to fix, but we should. So we'll do that now.
We have to get on, we have to get on. We have so much time and so little to do.
So little to
Like
do.
that. Reverse it.
So I wrote down in here, since my app wasn't really doing anything, I didn't have to worry about too much. You should ideally be fixing any of these things in your custom code that you have along the way. So they changed the SDK thing back then. I wasn't using the SDK, so it's not a big worry. Any of these little carrots you can click on to get directly to those docs. I linked to docs on all of them. So there's a new base theme in the Data Studio, which we are seeing. Right in here, you'll see there's a dark mode. I'm actually using Dark Reader, I think, but the dark mode is actually inherent now. So they updated CORS enables and CORS origin to default disabled. We weren't using those at all, so they're currently disabled right now, which is fine. We'll add them later on. We go to add projects. They added the data flows, which we haven't played with on stream yet, but we will. In here, in flows, you can create flows, which can do a lot of things. It's basically kind of like a workflow thing that you can handle directly in the admin, which is really nice. And you can trigger it on a lot of ways. You can trigger it when data changes, updates, creates any of the CRUD actions. Webhooks, events. What else did they have? Let's see. So you can have event hooks, webhooks, cron, scheduled items, triggered by another flow, or manual trigger, which shows as a button in the collections and stuff, and you can see when that pops up, and you can trigger it from there directly. Like with a bunch of selected items, you can select them and then say trigger thumbnail or something, and it goes and automatically generates a thumbnail for you. Some cool stuff with flows. So we will be playing with that a lot more in the future. This part of the reason I wanted to upgrade is to take advantage of flows, because flow is such a great feature of directus, and I'm going to be using it quite a bit in the future. Insights 2.0. Today I tried playing with the regular insights and it wasn't really working for me. Let's see if we can do one real quick. Test dashboard. I'll save that. I'll add a new panel. Oh, there's a lot more options in here now too. So I wanted to see like time series, a line chart based on values over time. I was trying to get this to show the number of items per time, like the count of items that I entered per time, but it wasn't really doing that. Let's see if it'll work. Comparing change of a field. Comparing groups of values. I think this is one that I want. Let's say like on fortune, I want to know the count on a monthly basis. Date fields, date created, the date based on data. That's new, automatic. Okay. See, this I couldn't figure out. There isn't really a value field. I just want to know the count. So we'll see if that does anything. Show X, show Y, panel header. Name this panel. This is fortunes over time. I can blow it up here. As you can see, it's not really doing anything. And I think it's because of the values. I just don't know how to do it right. So we'll have to figure that out sometime. Like, what if yeah. Going back to, let's change the date. Let's see if it matters at all. So the raw values auto, I saw like here, I want to go back years and they didn't have years, so they write just values like this. So I'm going to say 3 years. And there it goes. And you can see it goes back 3 years. I guess I didn't set them up over time, huh? because it looks like they were all created here. There's 5 of them and they're all created there. Does any of the other data have overtime? I mean, let's just do media library. Media library count. No, this doesn't even have a date created. Count. Why don't they have date createds on them? All right, maybe these aren't the best example. Let's change this back to fortune. And let me show you real quick. So what happened to the dot? So let's say I came in here and created a new fortune. Hopefully it should show. The world is your oyster. There's some of that formatting that I was talking about. Look, it's missing a period on the end. Or punctuation on the end. Yeah, it's not really date created 3 years. Let's do automatic based on data. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Fortune, count, distinct. Let's just say count, I guess. Automatic based on date. Oh, value field ID. I lost that. That's probably why it stopped working. There it goes. Look at that. Oh, this is not total over time. It's how many were created over time. How would I do total over time? I don't think that matters. I don't know. We'll need to play with it some more someday, but there we go. We got a chart. ID 1. Like, will I need to write that myself? Write a column that updates that? I don't know. Maybe, no, I don't know. We'll leave it at that. 9.17, they added SendGrid email transport. We already set up our key there, so hopefully that is working. There goes the cam again. Yeah, that was like a half an hour. They added SAML support to the auth in 9.20. I'm not using that. They added the bundle extension type in 9.21. In my new directus-init, I include a bundle for you, so we are taking advantage of that now. In 9.22 is when they got the Node v18 requirement, so they did replace the directus drive package, I guess. So if you're using that, you'll need to fix it. And they added region for S3 environment config. It was previously defaulting to US East 1. I already had that in there, so I didn't really have to update it. And the file metadata abstraction was replaced. And if you followed my directus extension for, what was it called? The EXIF attacher, that was relying on this. So I'll have to test to see if that still works. I don't think it will, but we'll see. And they added top-level support for extensions, for example, using extension /directus extension whatever. And we are taking advantage of that with our Directus extension app bundle that we wrote. So we're using that. And there's a new schema endpoint, which is really interesting because you can now programmatically get the schema and diff it and apply schemas directly through the endpoint. So that kind of opens the capabilities of migrating from one environment to another one automatically in some kind of automated way. Automated way. So that's cool. There was a global rate limiter introduced in 9.23.2. In 9.23.4, GraphQL expires property changed from int to a string. So if you're relying on that, you'll need to update. In 9.25, API changed from CJS to ESM modules. This should probably say modules. And you need to retest your extensions if you have some old ones. I have that old one that I built. Support for AVIF files was added, and they migrated to material symbols, which includes more icons, so you can take advantage of those. 9.26 mail templates was added to flows. So this, since we haven't really used flows before this, it's not a problem for us, but it's a new addition, which is nice. It allows you to set an email template that you can write in Liquid and then pass in values to it directly. So if you have formatted emails, those look nice. And then the big 10.0. So in 10.0, I mean, just this is right here, just 9.5 through 9.26 is tons of new features. I mean, with flows alone, it's like a lot of stuff. And then they switched to the BSL license. So the BSL license is geared, I think, geared towards open source people. So it's basically an open source license that is free to use as long for private and public and production use, as long as you don't make more than $5 million annual revenue. Then you have to like pay. I don't know how it works after that, but yes. So it's pretty much free for most people. Most hobby projects, small projects, whatever. $5 million is a lot of money to be making in a year. If you're making $5 million, I'm sure you can afford to pay the Directus team a little bit of something. 10.1 added the Kanban layout. Now, that's a really cool feature. I haven't used it yet, but they have it so you can have, columns. I'll show you a little example here. They have a video of it. So, like Trello or whatever. I think that's really cool for purposes of if you're doing any kind of project management or task tracking or anything in there, you can do it in here, which is nice. Workflow management for content as well. They added more insight panels, which we probably already saw, the bigger list in there. The block editor interface, which I have not yet used either. This is another kind of little example, but you can kind of add content in forms of blocks, similar to like Notion would have. I think it's really flexible. I really like it. I think it allows you to, I like the idea of like block editing. So you can create your own blocks. I think content blocks, like kinds that can be added in here as well. Oh, autocomplete input. I missed that feature. And they added a pressure-based rate limiter as well. I've seen some issues with that, but it's there. Extensions are now building to ESM by default. In 10.1.1, Vue 3.3 Vue was upgraded to 3.3 in the admin interface. I don't know Vue well enough to know. What the hell? Why does my thing keep turning off? Check. The battery is full. I wonder if it's turning off because it's overheating. I've heard that's an issue for some people. Let me fix this. Hopefully that's not it. I don't need to go much longer anyway. Don't worry. It hasn't been half an hour. It's only been 15 minutes on this thing. So I'm not familiar with Vue enough to know if that's any kind of exciting new changes or whatever. If you have custom extensions that you've written that you need to upgrade. So 10.2, they added live preview functionality, which we have not played with, that allows you to hook into like live preview of your content. I bumped down on accident. File max upload size, so you can set like a global file upload size max and then specific file types that you want to allow. 10.3 added WebSocket support to REST and GraphQL. I have not used that. That's pretty cool to just have that on top of it, so you can connect to WebSockets no matter which interface you're using there. We haven't even built on the front end yet, and they've already got WebSockets, so that's cool. 10.4, they removed the context exceptions and extensions. This is something that I was kind of playing with recently, and now they use directus errors instead. So here's some link to documentation to check that out. You need to convert that over. If you were using exceptions, your code will break in 10.4. This is part of the reason why I don't really like cloud, because there's breaking changes. They automatically update the cloud for you, the cloud version. What if something breaks and you can't roll back? You can't choose a specific version to lock on, so the cloud instance is just not, their cloud instance is not going to be a good idea. But then again, you can't really upload the extensions into there either, so maybe that's not a problem. They moved the Redis environment variables. I'm not using it, but basically they collapsed, I guess, a bunch of variables into one. And they dropped memcache support, and they released the beta SDK. So the SDK has a new format to it. It's type safe. It's got some new features. You can tree shake out things you don't need in the SDK, which is pretty nice. So you don't have to include all of GraphQL or all of REST endpoints or all of whatever if you're not using them. So that's a new benefit that is finalized in 10.5, where we are now. And they added Supabase storage for files, which I did not know. I just learned recently that Supabase even stores files, so that's cool. So now we're up to date. We've got all this new junk in here. I think we're all good to go. That's basically all the new... man, I'm like a task behind. I really should have been. That was really kind of exploring the new tasks.
We have to get on, we have to get on. We have so much time and so little to do.
So much time and so little to do.
Reverse it.
I think that's it, though, honestly. That's like all I needed to stream. I wanted to do it real quick. I wanted to record it so that if anyone needs to bump from an older version, they can. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm forgetting. I created a snapshot. I didn't migrate it between things, like I didn't really need to. I might need to update the extensions SDK. I wonder what this is at. .1.8. I don't think it... well, it should have installed it. And so I just pushed a lot of these changes to this repo before I started streaming. I also added this information for after you've set up. Oh, let's do these things. Update project name, as this will be used for the email sender name. Oh, I don't need to do that. That's on the other project. Never mind. Yep. Well, that's all I got for you then. We'll keep it short and quick. This one's even under an hour. Nice and fast. All right. Good to catch at least Manny and Melky for a bit. But I've been hanging out over at the Compner. He's doing like a 100-hour stream right now. It was supposed to be a 100-hour stream. He is now on, I think, 120 hours, and then he's got another 20 hours to go. So I'll be hanging out over there if you need me. Catch you next time. Thanks for hanging out. All right, y'all. Bye.